Thanks for joining Bible Prophecy Insights. The existence of modern Israel is amazing and controversial. How did it happen? Pastor Steve is going to answer that question in today's video.
Hey everyone, this is Pastor Steve. These days we hear a lot about Israel and the Middle East. Today I'll be speaking about some important prophecies about Israel to give us some background to better understand what's happening there. In the book of Genesis, God gives specific land to Abram, who later becomes named Abraham, and confirms this covenant with Isaac and Jacob is later called Israel. For instance, in Genesis 15:18, it says, "To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates." Later in history, God spoke through Moses to warn Israel against doing evil. Deuteronomy 4:26, a penalty would result in being taken from the land and scattered among the peoples or nations, and be in distress for going against God's commandments. Then verse 29 talks about the latter days and turning to the Lord, who will not forget the covenant made with your fathers. Well, God had said way back then that he had given the land to them, but that they could be scattered if they did not follow what he wanted. When did the scattering into the nations occur? One example is the Babylonian captivity in the 500s BC, but it was limited. And so were many of the other times when Israel would disobey and come into warfare and different judgments. Now, coming to the New Testament, in Matthew 24:2, Jesus prophesied the destruction of the Jewish temple that was there at his time on the earth. The Romans destroyed that temple in 70 AD. It has never been rebuilt. In about 132 to 135 AD, the Jews rebelled against the Romans once again. Many Jews were forced to flee, and the Romans banned Jews from the Promised Land, the Holy Land. They were scattered among the nations for almost 2,000 years. In the 1800s, Jewish leaders in Europe dreamed about having their own nation once again. They came to be known as Zionists. Theodor Herzl led a Zionist conference which took place in Basel, Switzerland in 1897. They decided to seek to re-establish Israel. Thousands of Jews went to the Holy Land, which was then called Palestine, and purchased land from the Arabs. They eventually prospered on the former swamplands and deserts as prophecies began to be fulfilled. Let's hear what Amos had to say way back in Old Testament days. Amos 9:14 and 15, "I will restore the fortunes of my people Israel. They will rebuild the ruined cities and inhabit them. They will plant vineyards and drink their wine. They will make gardens and eat their fruit. I will plant them upon their land, and no more will they be uprooted out of their land, which I have given them. The Lord your God has spoken." Well, in times past, Israel has been uprooted. If this is the end times establishment of Israel, they will not be uprooted until Messiah comes. Isaiah 35:1 says, "The desert shall blossom as the rose." In Isaiah 51:3, "The Lord will comfort Zion. He will make the wilderness like Eden." In 1917, during World War I, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, which said that His Majesty's government favored a homeland for the Jews. After World War I, the League of Nations recognized England's control of Palestine and other Middle Eastern areas. As Jews continued to arrive, Arabs became upset. The British placed limits on Jewish immigration. After World War II, Jewish militias fought the British, and on November 29, 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into 2 states. On May 14, 1948, Israel was declared to be an independent nation. 5 Arab armies fought Israel, but Israel was victorious. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel took control of East Jerusalem, although the Muslim sites on the Temple Mount remained under Islamic administration. Diplomacy has failed to resolve many of the disputes between Israel, the Palestinians, and other Mideast nations. Threats of serious conflict remain. Zechariah chapter 12 verses 2 and 3 say the following: Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall happen in that day that I will make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut in pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. Now when we take Zechariah chapters 12 through 14 and study it, it shows that it's talking about the day of the Lord is coming. And so it certainly means the last days or latter days when this is going to happen, that Jerusalem will be a center of great conflict, and the existence of Israel will also be questioned by many. God has prophesied it, but there's also good news. Because although Israel is going through perilous times, and its modern existence still remains a major prophetic sign, ultimately Jesus Christ, in Hebrew would be Yeshua HaMashiach, will return and deliver Israel. I trust that Bible prophecy will be a great incentive for you to believe in Jesus and be prepared for his yet to come in these last days. God bless you.
Israel has a purpose in history and prophecy. God is alerting us that Jesus is coming back soon. Let's live for him in these challenging times. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends. Till next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.